watching ICT TV, empowering you. ICT TV, empowering you.
We use these gadgets on a daily, almost every other day. They keep changing. Have you ever thought about the people that actually spend all the nights and days to make sure that whatever you use or however you use that laptop or mobile phone, have you actually ever thought about a guy that develops the mobile application that you like most? Have you actually ever spent a day and thought about the generation that we're in, the 21st century and its revolution? Now, Mbarara University of Science and Technology is among the universities in the region, and the region I'm talking about actually is the Africa or East African region, among those universities that are trying to groom the next game changers in science and technology. This week, they are having their 28th graduation, and the Faculty of Computing and Informatics is one of those that is actually going to produce a number of students that are graduating this Friday. This is the Startup Talk. I am Sankara Berhanga, and that's how we start today's episode. We promised that in today's episode we should be able to focus on those innovators or ICT innovators that are expecting to graduate from Mbarara University of Science and Technology from the Faculty of Computing and Informatics. And you actually eager to watch the next big game changers of this world from Mbarara University of Science and Technology. Let's have this short one. When we come back, we should be able to roll into tonight's focus of the show.
You're watching ICT TV, empowering you.
Would it be a University of Science and Technology if it was not actually training people to fit in the generation where everyone actually is turning to mobile application and mobile device usage? Would it be a University of Science and Technology if we didn't have young brains come out of her and they are ready to solve challenges with technology? And I'm talking about digital technology. Save for whatever you may be planning to answer with that question, I must tell you that the good news is Mbarara University of Science and Technology Faculty of Computing and Informatics has got quality. Now, talking about that, the faculty has been on for some good years with different courses. We're talking about courses like Bachelor of Information Technology, IT. We're looking at computer science, we're looking at computer engineering. I'm told now we have software engineering as another one on board. All these rotate around computing, and this indeed is the era we're in. However, it's no longer about getting a degree and get out and start looking for a job. I have had my colleagues say IT guys are going to get out and start repairing computers, and some of them are data entrants. Well, that is also good, by the way. If you didn't know, we need the group. However, the generation that we are actually in is about innovating, and now innovation with these technologies we cannot do away with. Talking about that, we need to first roll back. Last week we ran a session here with Dr. Data Santorino of the Center for Innovations and Technology Transfer at Mbarara University of Science and Technology, who also actually doubles as the country manager, something at Camtech Uganda. All these are in Mbarara University of Science and Technology, there to support innovations. Later or earlier this week, one of the innovators or students that are expecting to graduate, Ezra Tomsi, also shared about how the university is actually supporting them, those that are trying to create stuff. Now, a university, those that know, especially in computing fields, you cannot actually graduate without a prototype. That is one of the requirements. And Well, I do not know from other universities, but at least from Mbarara University of Science and Technology in computing faculty, you're not going to graduate without that prototype. Go do research, find out a problem, get to solve it and develop at least a prototype that shows or gets close to what you're actually saying can be a solution from digital world. Why is the curricula designed that way? It's because the university focuses on producing innovative young gentlemen. Talking about that, I actually graduated from Mbarara University of Science and Technology. That was on a lighter note. Let's get into what actually brought us here today, this day or this evening. Mbarara University of Science and Technology having a few innovators that are expecting to graduate on Tuesday. We are starting with Comrade Andrew Okello, who in his study at Mbarara University of Science and Technology thought it wise and important to innovate an AI-powered crop diagnosis solution. And when we actually approached him, this is what he had to talk about his innovation.
My name is Andrew Okello. I'm currently reading for a bachelor's degree in computer science at Mbarara University of Science and Technology. So we all know that in Uganda, agriculture contributes to the backbone of our economy, as being the major exporters of crops from basically our gardens. So we realize that if nothing is really done on the agricultural sector, we are going to lose a lot of income and a lot of capital that's actually going into the government and also coming back to the public in terms of services. So with the COVID-19 restrictions that have been really set in place, we realize that we need to have a digital shift in the agricultural sector. And that's why the government put in what we call research-based institutions and agricultural institutions to really come up with innovations that would really elevate the agricultural sector in Uganda. We have a research institution like MAST that's training students to actually bring out good innovations that would impact society, that would impact the agricultural sector. So with COVID-19, realized that there was no access to medical personnel that would actually help the farmers to be able to diagnose diseases that are actually affecting their crops. So we as students from MAST, me and my team decided to come up with a mobile application that would really go digital at someone's convenience, at the convenience of their smartphone, at the convenience of their computer, to be able to actually tell them what kind of disease their crop is suffering from. So with that, we believe that once this information is available to the farmers, they can actually be able to get solutions faster without actually having to move from one area to another in search for medical information or even just medical expertise. So we launched a mobile application that we have called Yield App that's able to diagnose crop diseases. But we have focused more on using the leaves rather than taking on other parts of the plant like the roots that would really cause damage, because if we're really taking diagnosis from the roots, it would cause destruction of the crop, in that we're not giving this crop an opportunity to continue growing. The current available means of really diagnosing the crops have really been ineffective. Like most institutions are focused more on producing pesticides that we see are really not working out. Rather, for us, we are trying to say that let's detect diseases early enough before they can actually go severe onto the crop. So we launched a mobile application that's actually able to tell what kind of disease your crop is suffering from. How is this application going to work? One, you just have to get your mobile phone that has a camera, have this mobile application installed on your device, and then you just go to your garden, take live pictures of this crop, and then upload them into onto the application. What the application does is it will give you the diagnostic results. What kind of disease is it suffering from? To what extent has it been affected? And what are the procedures that you need to take? Is it something that you can solve as a farmer, or is it something that you maybe need to seek medical maybe attention or expertise from? So once you realize that the situation is really out of hand for you, we actually link you to someone who can be able to help you. So from there, we actually try to design a platform just like Facebook, where you can actually get information, where you can actually gain access to experts. So what happens once you launch this application, submit an image, it actually directs you to an online software that you can link up with experts in relation to the disease that you're classifying. For example, if I'm dealing with beans, I could actually talk to the farmer that is under that expertise. So on that platform, we have actually provided authentic and genuine experts that we believe and we deem can be able to solve the problems that are available on that platform. What happens is that you can link up with this person, be able to send them notifications, have a live chat with them. After having a live chat with them, you can actually now see what solutions can I be able to get depending on how you have really communicated your problem on crops. We have also tried to see to it that we rate the experts on the platform, in that you can choose the person with the most rates. With the most rates, we mean that if somebody has the higher rate, it means he has the highest expertise in that field. So the more the users, the more rates somebody has, and the more knowledge they can really convey to you who has the problem. Yeah, so that's how our application is really working out, and we believe with this we're able to really push up the agricultural sector further without really having to move from one area to another and having to shift from the local way of doing the agricultural diagnosis to actually the digital way that the president recently announced that we need digital innovations in different sectors, the health and the agricultural sector.
Wouldn't that be wow? With a mobile phone, you're able to get to understand what your crops are actually facing in terms of whatever disease, pests, or whatever complications that you may be getting at the farm, and all at your fingertip with your mobile app. Thank you very much, Andrew Okello, and congratulations. We believe you're the next big thing in the world, and we are actually happy. The next innovator from the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, who is actually preparing to graduate this Friday, is Comrade Patrick Okello. Now, this gentleman, we're not going to talk about one or two innovations. I think he's been the best overall in the faculty. Going first for Kakebe shop. And this, he says, stemmed from the COVID-19 pandemic, and it was actually, targeting to solve the market issues way in their home area. Now, we're talking about the time when actually universities were closed and the gentleman was at home, seated. This innovation came out and it is actually on market out there. You could try it. Kakebe.
With the coming of COVID-19, total lockdown was imposed across all over Uganda, and my village was also affected in that way. And people were not able to access the goods and services that they needed, and movement to town was also restricted. Suppliers of these goods themselves were not able to make sales and also deliver the goods on time. There are several other existing online shopping platforms in Uganda. I can't mention all of them, but they were not able to deliver the goods and services to far places like my village, because most of them were operating within the city, that is Kampala. This gave me an opportunity to think up of a solution that would help my people, especially where I come from, and not only that, the nearby cities. I decided to build a mobile application that would help in the selling and buying of goods online. This was two ways, in a way that consumers can buy products directly, and also the sellers and business people would sign up on the platform and then upload their products for sale, where consumers can find the product on my application. And with the coming of app, I've seen so many improvements in terms of people just ordering their stuff from home and the product is delivered to them. And so people are no longer moving and to go and buy product. Instead, they place their orders on the mobile app and we're able to deliver it to their location. We have also made sure that we are doing same-day delivery, and also we're offering fresh commodities that was hard to get from this existing online application. And making such a mobile application became the ideal solution to restricted movement and also the inability of people to access goods and services in my village and the neighboring districts.
From Kakebe, Patrick is not seated. If you've not visited monya.com to stream music from northern Uganda, then actually you're losing it out. If you are PO or Kelo Olanya, or whatever you need to try monya.com, and you're going to get all your music streaming there. But from Mbarara University of Science and Technology, this gentleman again looked at what farmers go through to understand that this soil is actually suited for this. And Patrick thought of soil.
Agriculture employs about 70% of the population in Uganda, and it's a major economic activity that so many households depend on. The National Agricultural Research Organization has put forward so many different techniques and technologies to help farmers and people that depend on agriculture to have efficient ways of practicing this economic activity. One of them has been through mapping the different soils within the region, also sending out the extension workers to far places where they can be able to meet with the farmers and discuss with them the different types of soil that they have and find better methods on how to grow the right crops of this soil. But with the coming of COVID-19, movement has been limited. The agricultural officials themselves have not been able to have the chances to travel to far places, let's say up country or remote places which are really hard to access. And farmers themselves have not been able to gain the resources that they need to help identify the types of soils that they have, and also maybe the kind of crops that they need to plant on such a particular type of soil. And this has affected generally the crop yields because farmers have spent a lot of money in buying the seeds and working on the labor themselves. At the end, they still come up with poor crop yields. And this is entirely based on them not knowing the right soil that they're using and also the crops that they should plant on the soil that they have on their particular garden. And that is where my project comes in. I'm working on a mobile application that any farmer, be it that deep in the village or in a city or in any place, they can use the mobile app to identify the kind of soil that they have in their garden. And also from the app, it will be able to tell them the kind of crop that they'll be able to plant on a particular garden. And this will help them improve on that crop yield because one, they have the right seeds, and two, they know the type of soils that they have, and three, the app can give them information on particular kind of crops that will perform well based on the particular type of soil identified. This mobile app is able to address the problem of limitation in movement, since these agricultural experts are not able to access farmers because of COVID, and also farmers themselves cannot move from one point to another. So the app comes in to help bridge that gap where farmers can just be from wherever location that they're best in and still use the app to achieve what they want to know about their soil. And also the agricultural officials from NARO can be able to see the mapping of the soils continue without them moving actually to the final destinations where they have to be. And this is actually a solution that can work for Uganda and also work for Africa at large.
Soiler for you. Now, if there is anything that is going to be unique with the tech world, is really appealing to the young people, because one, it is actually clean. Now, we glue talking about clean money and you don't want to get your collar dirty. ICT is one of them. But that is not all. ICT is actually also inclusive in terms of gender. Now, gender activists, this is another area you could actually look at. One of the female students that is actually going to graduate on Friday was Nabasitu Elina, who actually thought it wise to champion and evolve an innovation around remote access for maternal care.
My name is Nabasitu Elina from Mbarara University of Science and Technology in the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, and I came from the Department of IT. Because of the current COVID situation that is around in the country, we saw that a country was put on a total lockdown whereby everything was put on a standstill, free movement was prohibited, and we saw that this affected a lot of people. But mainly we go to the health sector where we have pregnant mothers. These mothers are living in different places whereby they have to be having antenatal care services each and every moment. They have to see the doctors either face to face, and they have also to go to the hospitals in case of any emergency. But because of COVID-19, these pregnant mothers were denied a chance for freely moving to the hospitals. So we came up with an innovation whereby we shall provide these mothers with a platform, and this platform will help them to access maternal health care services. Because if at all we don't do this, this will lead to an increase in maternal mortality in Uganda, because currently we have 18 mothers dying daily because of complications from pregnancy and even during childbirth. So if at all these mothers engage and they be using this platform, we are sure that they will be able to access each and every maternal health care service they have to access while they are pregnant. So in this platform, we have the different modules whereby this expectant mother will be able to call the ambulance service, either the mother or the next of kin, the ones who will be taking care of them. They'll be able to call the ambulance services in case of any emergency, and they can be taken to the hospitals. Then also, because these mothers can't go to the hospitals like every time, they can chat with a doctor or have a conversation with a doctor to like tell them about the complications they are facing, and the doctors can reply to them in a shortest period of time. Then also we have another module whereby these mothers will be able to get health updates relating to pregnancy. For example, how to take care of your pregnancy, how the different complications like you can get, their signs and symptoms, so that in case of anything, you can contact the doctor, because there's a chat forum where you can contact the doctor. Then we also have appointment schedule, because we know that each and every mother has to go for antenatal care, but because there is no that free movement from one place to another because of the lockdown, so these mothers can just schedule an appointment with a doctor depending on a different trimester they're in, because we know that in each and every, there are 3 trimesters, but in each and every trimester at least you have to go for antenatal, like 4 in a month. You can go for either 2 days in a week, but you have to make sure that in every trimester you have to go to the hospital for antenatal care. So you can schedule an appointment with a doctor, and yes, after scheduling, the doctor will get a notification on their phone that you've scheduled an appointment, and they will reply to you like using the mobile application. So that is the platform we are bringing out to the mothers. So we know if at all they can't go to the hospitals, but at least this platform can help them in this COVID period. So with this project, we know that saving a mother is saving a nation and even saving the future. So with the current situation of COVID, this couldn't stop us from saving the future, which are the mothers. So why not come to Mbarara University of Science and Technology, where technology is the priority?
Thank you very much, Nabasita Edina over there, trying to transform the access of maternal care over there. And she is actually going to graduate this Friday on the 28th May from Mbarara University of Science and Technology, Faculty of Computing and Informatics. Isn't that beautiful? But what does Mbarara University of Science and Technology do uniquely from other universities? I understand this faculty actually exists in other universities, but what makes it different from Mbarara University of Science and Technology? Why are we profiling these young people that actually get or have the spirit to innovate? Now, a few months ago, we streamed an event in which these guys were actually awarded by the faculty for having been, the outstanding students in building projects around digital solutions. This is actually what happened that day.
We were 5 judges. We gave marks out of 50, and we found the sum, and the one who had more will be announced the winner. We had 2 categories, BIT and BCS. We looked at scalability and gave 10 marks. We looked at the business model. We gave 10 marks. We looked at the SDG goal you're trying to achieve. We gave 10 marks. We looked at the value proposition, gave 15 marks. And we looked at how you presented and gave 5 marks. So from that, we are going to announce the winner.
Thank you very much. Out of the 12, we had the nominees for the best BIT project. We had these students being supervised by Mr. Kimera Richard. and they were doing a video game to create public awareness about the effects of global warming. Then the next nominee was a project that was done by Maria and Martin, and the project was codenamed Improving Debugging in Java. The third nominee for this category, ladies and gentlemen, was a project that was done by Ivan and Moses, and this project was a home surveillance platform. Would you like to give them some clapping? Yeah, some clapping. Very good. The next project was done by Patricia and Elena, and this project was codenamed A Digital Platform to Ease Access to Maternal Services. The next project was done by Stephen, and this project was a digital platform to ease access and car hiring services. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the winner in this category, we shall start with the first runners-up. That is the second person. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ, the first runners-up in the category that has been read to us is none other than a video game to create public awareness about the effects. Yes, the nominees for these projects, ladies and gentlemen, if you could look up to the screen. The nominees were and are, yes, would you like to show us the first project? Yes, it is a project that was done by Mr. Yassin, and he was doing, a criminal detecting application using facial recognition. And the next nominee was Mr. Patrick, supervised by Mr. Rogers himself, Mwavu. And the title of his project, Soil Classification and Crop Suggestion Application Using Deep Learning Techniques. Ladies and gentlemen, the next nominee in this category was Mr. Andrew, supervised by Mr. Francis himself, and he did a pneumonia diagnosis using machine learning. The next nominee in this category was Mr. Faisal, and the project, a device monitor, a mobile application that uses reward-based algorithm to reduce social media usage in the classroom. The next nominee in this category was Mr. Samson, supervised by Mrs. Mary Amongi, and he did melanoma skin cancer detection mobile application. The next nominee, Mr. Tumusime Ezra, supervised by Dr. Fred Kagwa. He did a crop disease diagnosis using machine learning. Ladies and gentlemen, the next nominee, Miss Evelyn, supervised by Mr. Agri Obo, a washing bay locator application using geospatial technology. Ladies and gentlemen, the first runners-up in this category let us give it up for the criminal tracking algorithm using facial recognition. Mr. Yassin, congratulations, congratulations, and congratulations. You have heard those things where they put woo in the background, right? Assume that is happening. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, the best overall project for the Faculty of Computing Innovation Awards for the year 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give it up for Patrick, who presented a soil classification.
Congratulations to you all who won at that level, but also congratulations every other person that graduated from the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, but especially those who went ahead to actually think of community problems and you developed, your solutions, and you're eager to continue using the knowledge you got from Mbarara University of Science and Technology to solve community challenges using technology. And we could actually say congratulations. By the way, talking about this is what ICT says. Every step taken contributes to a progressive long walk of life. ICT TV congratulates Mbarara University of Science and Technology, class of 2022. May you succeed in the next phase of building your careers. Don't miss our exclusive coverage of this 28th graduation on the 28th of May, 2022.
ICT TV, empowering you.
Congratulations indeed, and indeed, yes, don't miss our exclusive coverage that very day. We are going to be covering that. ICT is always there for these things. Those of you who are watching us for the very first time, ICT stands for Empower Youth in Technology, and we are looking at that youth, especially university students. And when we are at Mbarara University of Science and Technology, for university that made us, then this is actually going to be very, very perfect for you. But also, this is to tell you who is graduating this Friday and you have that, innovative, zeal, reach out to Empower Youth in Technology. We have a number of ways we are going to be supporting you. One way is actually capacity building. We are going to bring out comrades like Chimera, comrades like Mwavu, but also people that are out there. Do you want to rub shoulders with a guy that, is behind Jumia or Safe Border or mention it? Then you are going to meet them at Empower Youth in Technology under the Startup Garage, under our, focus area of capacity building and mentorship. Beyond that, we will support you in making sure that we promote what you're actually producing and tell your story, help you tell your story to the world, host you on this show, the Startup Talk, but also give you some, advertisement in terms of, digital promotion. We can be able to support you. Now, that is not all. If you have this great idea, you have documented it very well, we can actually help you source for affordable financing options, that is to help you apply for funding calls, but also enroll you in our program, a YIT Startups Financing Initiative, in which you only need to save. By the way, after graduation, you'll be old men. Yes, you'll be old men. We expect you, old men and ladies, to be saving, and when you save, you have a chance to finance your startup through our very, very affordable loans options. And you only have actually to have friends who are in the same initiative saving. You don't have to worry about that cash. The challenge with your ICT innovations is you're not going to explain to Papa that you need $1 million to invest in it, and they easily understand it. Please join us. All said, please, thank you very much for watching this episode. This was dedicated to Mbarara University of Science and Technology Faculty of Computing students that are actually going to graduate this very Friday. Hustle on, innovators. Please go ahead and develop, learn those codes, get to know that you're coding for business and not just, fun. And to you students who are still at Mbarara University of Science and Technology in the same faculty and you want to develop, your career in digital space. By the way, digital space is not only for computing guys, my BBA guys, my planning guys, my medicine guys, education guys. This is the era of digital technology and digital businesses, and this actually is your space. That's why you have to embrace it. Thank you very much. Until next time, the Startup Talk. Succeed we must. Every step taken contributes to a progressive long walk of life. ICT TV congratulates Mbarara University of Science and Technology, class of 2022. May you succeed in the next phase of building your careers. Don't miss our exclusive coverage of this 28th graduation on the 28th of May, 2022.
ICT TV, empowering you.